After Fern obtains the rank of first-class mage, Frieren, Fern, and Stark continue their journey toward the northern lands. Although they travel calmly, their money begins to run out once again, so they plan to look for work in the next town. Along the way, they decide to camp in the forest. The next morning, Stark goes out to fish for breakfast with little success, while Fern prepares the vegetables she gathered. Unexpectedly, they find Frieren already awake, searching through the bushes. There, she discovers an anti-magic crystal, a rare and costly mineral capable of nullifying any spell within a certain radius. Frieren explains its properties and demonstrates its potential by charging it with magical energy, causing it to emit an intense glow. Fern becomes concerned, considering the crystal too dangerous, and asks Frieren to get rid of it. Shortly afterward, the group resumes their journey. Frieren mentions that the northern plateau is still far away, as they must first cross a vast forest and a volcanic region with hot springs, an idea that excites Fern. During their travels, the ground suddenly collapses and the three fall into a cave. Although they attempt to save themselves using magic, they soon discover that the cave is filled with anti-magic crystals, preventing them from flying. Trapped and unable to use spells, the group's safety rests entirely on Stark. After exploring the cave and finding animal remains, they decide to set up camp. Fern confesses that she feels deeply afraid, unable to sense any magic at all, as if she were surrounded by complete darkness. The tension rises when a poisonous dragon appears. Stark protects Frieren and Fern, while Frieren, surprisingly calm, explains that she fully trusted him from the moment she chose him as the party's vanguard warrior. Stark admits that his instinct has always been to run away, but Frieren replies that if that is the case, then they will run away together. Using a magic-charged anti-magic crystal as a distraction, they manage to escape, evoking memories in Frieren of the former hero Himmel's party, and reinforcing the importance of staying together. Later on, they reunite with Warble and his group, who once again invite Stark to join them. Stark refuses the offer, stating that his place is with Frieren and Fern, as it was thanks to them that he stopped running away and was able to move forward. With his resolve firm, the group continues their journey, forging their own adventure filled with detours, dangers, and growth. To continue funding the group's journey, Frieren accepts various jobs without giving them much thought. In one of the towns they visit, she takes on the task of cleaning the statue of a hero who took part in the defeat of the Demon King, which serves to introduce other legendary figures besides Himmel. Among them stands out the hero of the South, an extraordinary swordsman who, according to legend, defeated 2 of the 7 sages of destruction and fought tirelessly against demons. His fate was always a mystery, as his body was never found after the war ended. While cleaning the statue, Frieren recalls her encounter with this hero. After being rejected by her when he asked to join her group, the hero of the South confessed his ability to see the future and revealed that he was destined to die the following year at the hands of Schlacht, one of the sages. His true reason for seeking her out was to warn her that she would be key to saving the world, as she would later join Himmel's party, the one that would ultimately defeat the Demon King. Although Frieren initially doubted this prophecy, everything unfolded exactly as he had predicted. Over time, Frieren comes to understand that the hero of the South's sacrifice was not in vain, as his legacy lives on in collective memory. The journey continues toward the southern villages, where Frieren seems eager to finish her business and leave as soon as possible. The reason is Count Drott, who recognizes her as a hero thanks to the stories passed down by his great-grandfather. Drott has lost a family sword of great importance, stolen by a demon, repeating a mistake from the past that Himmel once helped resolve. Following the example of the former hero, Frieren agrees to retrieve the sword. The group tracks the demon and arrives at a village that has been completely devastated. There, they encounter a nun praying for the dead, But Frieren quickly realizes that she is actually the demon responsible for the massacre. After a brief battle, in which Stark and Fern work together to protect themselves, Frieren easily defeats the enemy. In the end, the sword is returned to Drat, who is deeply grateful for their help. Stark questions why such a dangerous object should be kept, but Frieren replies that there must always be people willing to face demons. The reward turns out to be modest, a grimoire of simple magic, reflecting the melancholic and everyday tone of Frieren's journey. The group heads toward a hot spring village with excitement, hoping to enjoy a well-deserved rest. But upon arrival, they discover that the village no longer exists, as the spring dried up and the residents were forced to leave. An old man tells them about the Awig hot springs, hidden deep within the forest. Although the idea seems pointless, Stark manages to convince Frieren and Fern to continue the journey. Along the way, Frieren reminisces about her adventures with Himmel, recalling his love for exploration. The journey becomes dangerous when they encounter a three-headed dragon with an incredible regenerative ability. Following Frieren's plan, Stark distracts the monster while she and Fern cut off its heads, ultimately defeating it after a fierce battle. Later, the group finally reaches the spring, only to find that the water is too shallow to bathe in. Even so, Stark is content, as he can share the moment with his companions. It is revealed that Stark's interest in hot springs comes from a memory of his Naster Eisen, who once visited that very place with Himmel's party. Although the waters were never impressive, the simple act of soaking their feet while admiring the scenery became a cherished memory, one Stark now wishes to hold close to his heart. Eventually, the group arrives at another village with proper hot springs, where Frieren decides to stay for an entire week. During this break, Fern finds herself with plenty of free time and suggests that Stark go explore the town with her. Sensing the tension between them, Stark gathers his courage and directly invites Fern on a date. She immediately agrees, though her nervous behavior leaves Stark unsure if he has made her uncomfortable. Frieren tries to help Stark prepare for the date, even though she clearly lacks experience with romance. Still, she offers practical advice about Fern's preferences and the importance of calm, quiet places, acting almost like a mother figure. That same night, Fern also turns to Frieren for guidance, but receives no clear answers. Unable to sleep, Fern lies awake, feeling strangely anxious, beginning to realize that her feelings towards Stark may be changing. After a sleepless night, the day of the date finally arrives, and Fern faces her first problem. She has no idea what to wear. When she tries to ask her teacher for advice, she only manages to make her even angrier. When she finally meets up with Stark, he is surprised not to see her in her usual outfit, though this allows him to realize how cute she really is, something he may have overlooked amid their many adventures. During the date, Stark takes Fern to the market, and both notice that most of their conversations revolve around Frieren, from her habit of compulsively buying magical artifacts to her lack of concern for time as she continues enjoying the hot springs. Stark follows the elf's advice to the letter, visiting the recommended places and sharing Fern's favorite snacks. However, although there are moments of closeness, the date feels somewhat forced, and the two continue to treat each other more like companions than anything more. When they reach the final viewpoint, Stark feels disheartened upon realizing that Fern did not smile even once throughout the day. She confesses that the date felt too artificial, as if it had been planned by someone else. Stark then admits that he asked Frieren for help, which changes Fern's perception, as she genuinely appreciates his effort. As they share memories of their past, both reflect on how, despite growing up without their biological parents, they received love and guidance from their mentors, Heiter and Eisen, following the kind-hearted example of Himmel. This moment also awakens in Frieren the memory of a date with Himmel, who taught her that what truly matters is not the outcome, but enjoying the time spent together. Later on, the group continues their journey north, restocking supplies before entering dangerous areas where Fern must prove her rank as a first-class mage. Along the way, they face increasingly lethal monsters, yet manage to survive thanks to their experience and cooperation. In the end, they help a small village by defeating a beast capable of blocking magic, reinforcing the idea that the road ahead will only grow more dangerous. Even so, the group moves forward with determination, aware that they still need to improve their teamwork to face the challenges that await them.